Hi, and welcome to the Corona demo. I'm Michael, and I'm here today to give you a brief introduction to our software. While this is far from exhaustive of what the software can do, it's a good look at most of the basics, as well as some of our most commonly used tools. We'll start by looking at the front end part of the system that you'll see at your checkout terminals. Then we'll switch gears to look at the back end, which will cover features used by owners and managers. Okay, so let's get to it. Right off the bat, you'll see the Corona keypad. This is going to be the first thing that you see when you power on the Corona point of sale terminal. Each cashier can have their own individual login and their own set of permissions. And it's controlled by this login screen here. We also have an employee time clock built into Corona. So your employees will be able to clock in and clock out of the system. And in the back office, you'll be able to run a report for any given date range that you'd like to see the hours worked. This makes managing your payroll and employee scheduling a lot easier. Okay, now I'm gonna go ahead and log in here by hitting the number 1 and then log in. You can choose any login code that you'd like. I just have 1 for this system. This will navigate us to our cashier point of sale screen. On the left-hand side, we have our interactive receipt, and below that, we have our keypad. In the middle, we have what we call our quick keys. And on the right side, we have our functions. We do have multiple pages of functions, as you can see in the top right-hand corner here, with 1, 2, 3 up top. Everything that you're seeing here is completely customizable, including the size of the buttons, the colors of the buttons, how the buttons are connected to other buttons, and more. It's entirely up to each business and really easy to change. So to give you an example of starting a transaction, I can hit my liquor selection button, and you'll notice that it takes me to a new page of buttons to where I can actually make that liquor selection, and I can hit Scotch here. We call this an interactive receipt because when you have multiple products on the receipt, you can just switch back and forth to each product as you like to make any change, like the quantity or the price. This makes it easy to make edits or alter mistakes, though we do include custom employee permissions to limit certain actions. So if I jump back to the Scotch here, you'll see that I now have that highlighted in blue, and we can change the quantity by simply hitting the number 2 in the bottom left-hand corner. And on my right side, I have a change quantity function. Once I hit the change quantity button, I now have 2 on the receipt. In the top right-hand corner, you do have multiple pages of functions. Price changes, item quantities, discounts, all work in the same way I just described. Next, we can come back down to this Cabernet, for example, that we have on the receipt, and then do the exact same thing we just did with the Scotch. Maybe we want to apply a 10% discount. We can hit 10 on our keypad, and now you have that 10% discount applied that populates on the receipt there. And you can see exactly how much you saved from that 10% discount. Once the customer has everything that they're looking for, we can then hit the bottom right-hand total button. When you push this button, it's going to bring you to our payment screen. You will have all of the cash denominations at the top. Here you have the keypad down at the bottom, and then you have all the different payment methods over here on the right-hand side, like cash, credit, debit, gift card, and loyalty points. Point-based programs will be available natively out of the Corona system. We also have a multitude of integrated partners that expand on the loyalty functionality. Just for easy use here, I'm going to hit a $100 bill, and at that time, it's going to let me know that I'm running Corona in test mode, and in the bottom right-hand corner is where my change will pop up. The receipt would print, the cash drawer would pop open, and as you could see, I'm ready for the next customer. So checking out a customer is as simple as that. However, there are a couple of other ways to get items into the receipt, and I'd like to show you how to do that now. You will, from time to time, have a product that's brought up to the counter that has a barcode that's ripped in half, or maybe it's smudged a little bit, and it won't scan in situations like that. You're going to need a product search. You can simply search for any product in your database just by typing in the beginning of that product. Once it pops up, you can make the selection here and then hit Add Item and close in the bottom right-hand corner. And it will bring that Cabernet over to the receipt just like that. Remember, the button configuration that you have here is definitely not your only option. As I said, you can also scan any products onto the receipt. And once we have that product here, we can also add a customer to these Korona receipts. This allows you to track customers inside of Korona POS and be able to see past purchases on their customer profile. So for example, with the returning shopper, here I can hit my Add Customer button and I can search my customer database for any customer that I have already in there. And I can make the selection for Zach Stanbro, and we can hit Apply, and now we have that customer on the receipt there. If you want to add a new customer inside of Korona, you can do that as well, of course. Just go to the Add Customer button again, and instead of searching for somebody, we can just hit New, and then we can pre-fill some of this information, and then hit Add button, and they will now be created as a new customer and sync to the cloud for your customer database. Now I wanted to show you one more important functionality with this checkout process. We can go into our beer and wine selection and we can add a Michelob Ultra. Obviously, the Michelob Ultra came over to the receipt like it should, but you'll notice that a bottle deposit is attached to the Michelob Ultra as well. Bottle deposits inside of Korona are extremely important since a lot of liquor stores and a lot of states require bottle deposits. And if you're in one of those states, we have that built in without any issue. Now that we have that bottle deposit on the receipt, we can go ahead and hit our total button here, and we can do the same thing as we did before. You can choose from one of the cash denominations at the top, or you can use the keypad down here in the middle. And this time I'm going to use this $50 bill here. Again, the change due is at the bottom right-hand corner. At that time, the receipt would print, the cash drawer would pop open, and you're ready for the next customer. Also, on that sale, since there was a customer tied to that receipt, Zach Stanbro will now have a customer record and his receipts will be stored. So you'll always be able to see reports and the actual receipts themselves in the back office for each specific customer. On our third page of functions here, we have our end of day or shift balancing. Balancing can be done in Korona in several different ways, helping businesses keep their existing procedures in place. The last thing that I would like to show you on the point of sale screen is the receipt archive. Anytime a customer has a problem with a receipt inside of Korona, you'll notice that there's a barcode here in the left-hand corner. That barcode can be scanned off of the customer's receipt and will immediately take you to the receipt archive. Once you open that receipt archive, you will notice that it's going to show you all of your past receipts. But most importantly, when a customer brings their receipt, you will be able to scan that barcode at the bottom of the receipt and it will populate it here automatically with the information from the receipt that you just scanned. This allows you to do any of your managerial functionality, print a copy of that receipt, create a gift receipt, reopen the receipt to change the payment method, copy of the receipt items to do a return, or even voiding the receipt. Really, whatever situation may be that you need to make a change, you'll be able to do it quickly and conveniently. Okay, let's shift gears for the second half. We're going to jump into the back office of Korona. This means you'll be able to access it from anywhere in the world. You just need a device that's connected to a web browser, and you will be able to log into your cloud account and see your data in real time. As you can see here, the very first thing that we see is a dashboard, which is just designed to give you a brief overview of how the business is doing for the day. You'll see in the top left-hand corner some nice widgets like short stocks, which I'll jump into here in just a minute. You can also see revenue of the day, number of customers of the day, top sellers of the day, things like that. So nice digestible information here. This dashboard is customizable as well. As you can see here, I'm doing a very simple drag and drop system. You will be able to design the dashboard to your liking. The first thing that I like to cover in the back office would be inventory. Inventory management from store to store can really range on exactly what functionality you want or need and what you're used to doing in your store. Inventory management in Korona POS is very customizable and it can be done in a multitude of ways. So let me show you some of these ways. Now, one of the very first things that I would like to show you is the short stocks widget in the top left-hand corner here. As you can see, I can make a selection of my warehouse. It's easy to create multiple warehouses in the system if you have them. And once you select a warehouse, it'll let me show you how many products that I'm short on stock for that specific location. Better yet, for any products that I am short on, the system automatically generates an individual stock order for each of my vendors and all of the products that I need to order from each of those vendors, including the quantity that I need to order to get back to my maximum level. So this short stock widget does work off of minimum and maximum levels that are preset by you inside of the Korona system. And again, the system will tell you everything that you need to order and when you need to order it. So there's not too much legwork that you have to do running around the store, looking at the shelves, seeing what's low. Hopefully with Korona, you would never need to do that again. The idea here is that we're automating a whole lot of your inventory and reporting. It ends up saving you time and stress and also brings our users more accuracy, so you'll have far fewer stockouts. Another aspect that I like to jump into in the inventory tab is stock orders and stock receipts. Stock orders are when you're actually ordering your stock from your vendors, and stock receipts are when you've actually received that stock from your vendor. When it's time for you to put either into the Korona system, you'll have many ways that can actually get that done. So for example, if I come here to stock orders, you'll notice that I get a history of all my previous stock orders, but I also get this new button in the top left-hand corner. If I hit this new button, it'll let me choose from a few different options here. So here we see from stock order templates, empty stock order, and stock order from sales. The from stock order template just means it's a custom template that you've made for products that you're ordering all the time. Korona will pre-fill that template for you each time you make that selection. An empty stock order means you're starting from scratch, and a stock order from sales means you're going to put in a custom date range here from which to analyze sales. Korona will then tell you to reorder everything that you sold during that time frame. Empty stock order and stock order from sales are very popular tools. Most of the time, you won't even have to navigate to these screens if you're using the short stock widget like we saw on the dashboard. That's going to do all of this legwork for you automatically. And once you've made that stock order, a couple of weeks goes by and your vendor simply delivers it. Now, you do have stock receipts as well. One of the really nice things about the stock receipt screen in Korona is as long as you're doing your ordering through the Korona ecosystem, you will be able to actually pull up your stock order into a stock receipt and then just change the quantities as you see fit. So for example, say you have 50 products on a certain stock order. All of these 50 products come in. You'll notice that the very first option here is for a stock order. We can make that selection of the stock order from our list here and hit the create button, which will then pre-fill all of those products into the stock receipt. We can hit the save button and you've now put all of those products in the inventory and you're good to go. Simple as that. All of your products also live in this inventory tab here. As you can see, we have a ton of different products to choose from. In my system here, I think I have a little over 400 items. I assume you're going to have significantly more than me. You do not have any limit on the products that you have in the Korona database. If you have 50,000 products, that's totally fine. If you have 250,000 products, that's also totally fine. That is the benefit of Korona being cloud-based. You really aren't going to run into any limits in the back office for anything. Customers, sales, data, inventory, users, all of that is unlimited. So all of your suppliers will live in the inventory tab as well. And again, you'll see your individual warehouses there too. So if you have a multitude of stores and several inventory warehouses, you will still be able to track that in the Korona system. You will be able to see all of your different inventory levels as well. Once you are in this warehouse screen, you can actually see your individual warehouse inventory expenses, stock values, and ordered values. And you can also click into these and actually see how much stock you currently have on hand. You can also see your reorder level, your maximum levels, and your purchase price over there on the right-hand side. As you can see in my demo account here, we have sold quite a bit in the negative since we're not actually selling anything with this account. But you'll also have the ability to sell into the negative yourself. You'll still be able to sell those items and then do stock adjustments as you see fit to get your inventory level back to the correct amount down the road. The next tab that we have here is the Sales tab. This is where all of your customers, your receipts, your end of day statements, your promotions that you set up, these are all configured here. Promotions is another powerful tool that I'd like to jump into here for a minute. Really, any promotion that you can think of, buy one, get one free, spend $100, get 10% off, whatever it may be, you will be able to set it up to where it's automatically triggered, meaning that as soon as the defined criteria has been met, it will apply this promotion on the receipt without your cashiers needing to do anything or push any buttons. It's automatic. We do also have coupons and a loyalty points program, so a ton of different options here. And like I said, any promotion that you can think of, we can customize it and set it up in the KORONA system. All of your customers will live in the back office as well. As you can see here, we have a ton of different customers in our account here. You will be able to have an unlimited number of customers, and you will be able to tie them to their own specific customer group as well. So you specify any specific promotions to certain customer groups, or if you have a loyalty customer group and they get a small percentage off over everybody else, you can simply make this your default customer group. This is also really important for wholesale. So if you have any wholesaling customers, you would be able to set that up through customer groups and even give them their own price group. The cloud does keep a record of everything that happens on the point of sale as well. Of course, you'll be able to see all of that in your end of day statements here in the back office. You can pull up really any point of sale profile that you have here. Pull up the date filter and look at a specific date, or you can do a custom date range by quarters or even times of day. The date filter in the back office of KORONA will populate in many different areas. And it's always the same. You will see all of these different preset filters, specific dates, custom date ranges, etc. And once we've made a selection for the end of day statement, you will see that populate on the right-hand side here. So you'll get a preview of that end of day statement and check all employee behavior and transactional history. Afterwards, you can turn the report into a copy, turn it into a PDF, email it over to another employee. Whatever you need to do can be done directly through the back office. Okay, the next feature that I'd like to cover today is invoicing. If your business conducts any business-to-business invoicing, the KORONA accounting system can take care of that situation. If you're selling liquor products to a bar down the street, you can print out invoices directly from the POS. Or if you have bigger wholesale customers that don't come into the business to actually get a paper receipt, you can simply invoice them with a formal letterhead invoice directly through the KORONA system. You can even create a quote beforehand and email that over to them. Once they've approved that quote, you can turn it into an invoice, take payment, and reconcile your inventory. Your Employees tab is where all of your cashiers and users are set up. Cashier roles define what you allow them to do on the front end of the point of sale, and user roles are what you allow them to do in the back office here. Again, users and cashiers inside of KORONA are unlimited. You are not charged per cashier or per customer. You are only charged per point of sale in KORONA. You can also make as many permission roles as you want and assign that to as many different cashiers as you need once you have all of your permissions set up. The next tab that we'll navigate to is Evaluations. We're almost done here. This is where all of your reports will live inside of the KORONA system. There are a little over 50 different reports for you to choose from. And almost all of these reports have multiple filters to choose from as well, making them all very customizable. You can run cashier-specific reports, customer-specific reports, daily sales, monthly sales, yearly sale periods, product performance, top sellers, slow sellers, supplier analysis, and a whole lot more. Better yet, these are customizable again and filterable to your liking. Once we navigate into the Settings tab here, this is where your product specialist will walk you through more of the details of your KORONA account. It covers things like taxes, button configurations, data exchange, imports and exports, and other more niche features. You're going to be navigating through the Settings tab a whole lot during your training sessions. By the end of it, you will be able to understand what all of these features are and how they'll actually be set up and get configured from here. It's nothing to be intimidated by, but it's an example of some of the more in-depth features that we'll cover with you down the road. For now, I hope this was a good introduction to the software for you. We've designed the basics to be simple for new users to understand from both cashier and managerial points of view. Please reach out to us if you have any questions on what's covered here, and schedule a more personalized and detailed demo with one of our product specialists to learn more. Thanks for stopping by to check us out today.